Your mind is limitless. The possibilities are endless. Awaken Your Mind Magic shows you how you can dream limitlessly and live your life on a new level. Susan Kathleen speaks with ordinary people who are living extraordinary lives using the power of their mind.
Silver on the outside, gold on the inside. Silver on the outside, gold on the inside. Silver on the outside.
Abundance, prosperity, and success. There are no limits to what you can dream. Join Susan Kathleen on a journey into your dreams, making a difference and living life on your own terms. This is Awaken Your Mind Magic.
Hello and welcome everyone. My guest speaker today is Jim Inglis, who's from the United Kingdom and is a musician, a hypnotist, and works in the field of the law of attraction. Jim lives in the borders of Scotland with his wife Hayley, their dog, and pet rabbits. He's played bass guitar in several pop groups over the years. And as Jim is also a trained hypnotherapist, he's had a few interesting shows. He's the author of the many 5-star reviewed fantasy book, A Magic Triangle's first published in 2012 and recently republished with an illustrator's sketches that greatly enhanced the publication. He also has written his biography, which is apparently enjoyed by the Brits who know of him well. Jim, as I say, works in the law of attraction and believes implicitly in the quantum field of the law. And he helps people achieve change in themselves and in their lives. Welcome, Jim. It's so good to have you here on Awaken Your Mind Magic.
Hi, thank you. It's really, really good to be here.
It's brilliant to have you here. I mean, you're there on the borders of Scotland, and you can tell everybody by this lovely accent that he has. And he's really cool. I tell you what, he looks sort of like a Mick Jagger type person.
Well, for the last 20 years, everyone said, hey, you know who you look like? And it's Ronnie Wood.
Oh, yeah. You know, that looks just like Ronnie Wood, the Rolling Stones. In fact, you know what, Jim? When I first met you online,
yeah.
By the way, guys, this is not a dating thing. I met him on Facebook. But I thought that's who you were. And I thought, wow, this is amazing. But it's amazing to have you in our lives anyway. Tell us about your story. What's your background? And when did you start working in the law of attraction and as a musician? And you can carry on and tell us about hypnosis as well.
Okay, Susan. Thank you. Well, really, I'll start when I was at school. I always had this vision of me playing in a band. I couldn't play an instrument to save myself, but I always had this vision, as most kids have, when they hear a song, playing in a band, you know. But I really, really saw me playing in this band. And I was, what age would it be? About 17. And me and a few friends, we started a band. And I still couldn't play very well. But a guy came up to listen to us practicing once. And he says, at that time, I played a 6-string guitar, rhythm guitar. And he said to me, you'd really be better playing the bass guitar. So I traded in my rhythm guitar and I bought myself a bass guitar. And I learned the bass guitar. and the band just broke up for different reasons. But I still had this vision that I'd love to play in a band, you know. And one day I was up at my granny's, and I know my uncle said, "What are you?" This was before I'd left school, and he said, "What are you going to do when you leave school?" I says, "I'm going to be a pop star." He says, "Get your head out of the clouds, son, and get yourself a right job." And you know, at that time, that just took me right down. You know, absolutely no encouragement or anything. It took me right down. And I thought, you know, I'm going to, for a while, I gave up that idea. But then, and there was a famous band, well-known band all over the world, where I come from, a rock and roll band. And one day I was working as a taxi driver when I was about 18. And this guy, I was asked to go up and take this guy to his house. And this guy was called Bob. And he was in a band. He had a band called Johnny and the Roccos.
Oh, I remember them.
Do you?
Yeah, showing my age.
Well, I don't know if it'll be the same band. It's a 60s rock and roll band. And I mean, this guy was really, at the time, they were really well known. And we toured Norway and Sweden, and they've been everywhere. Anyways, I took him up to his house, and I was blathering to him. And I told him my plans to be in the band, and he said, "Well, why don't you come along with us to our gigs?" And so that's what happened. I started going around with them. I met their agent, who I became friends with. And later on, I met a guy, who was a drummer, who says he knew a guitarist, and we got together and we started the band No Kidding, which I told you about.
Yeah.
And that was the first real band I ever got into. And that became really well known, a band. I was only together for 3.5 years, but we did radio, we were in newspapers. So yeah, that's broke up about 1980, early 1980. But that 3.5 years was really good. And
it's amazing how, when you put your mind to it, these things arrive. And if you are aware of it, as you know, and you take on whatever comes in through that door, you realize that nothing is by coincidence. Everything is there if you grasp the moment. And you did. You were just in a taxi, and the next thing, you were in this amazing band for 3.5 years. That's fantastic. Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah, I would never have met Bob if I hadn't been in that taxi, you know?
Yeah.
It's just how things come together.
It's also
to bring.
It is, but I'm crossing over you here, Jim. I apologize.
No,
but what I was going to say, and I have a passion for this, what people can say to you to almost destroy that dream.
Yeah.
Especially when you're young.
That's right.
You'll never be able to do that. You can't be a fireman. You'll never be a pilot. You won't go to space. You won't be an actor or an actress or a famous pop star or somebody in a band. And this does do what it happened to you. You felt deflated to the extent that you left what you were doing. You went to drive a taxi. However, that dream was still there, that amazing mindset. This is where you awaken your mind magic.
That's right. That's right. Exactly. Well, after that band split up, I mean, when my influences in pop music was actually, it wasn't the Rolling Stones or rock music. I was more into like say David Cassidy and the Bay City Rollers, you know. And at that time, I loved their sort of music. But I felt if you said that to anyone, if you said that to your friends, you get looked at like you're an idiot, you know, liking them. So I never actually said who I liked. But yeah, that was, and glam rock, like Mark Bolan, T-Rex, and Slade, and things like that.
I grew up on all of them.
Did you?
did.
You? Well, yeah, so did I. So did I. Actually, my brother-in-law in Perth and my sister they've changed their music now, but they've got a band, and it used to be called Almost Slade. And they sound exactly like Slade.
Really?
And Danny sounds exactly like Noddy Holder. Actually, he was asked by Slade's manager if he'd front the band a few years ago. And he was on Perth radios talking about this. But it all fell through, and he wasn't really interested in it anyway. But yeah, he was asked, and they really do sound like Slade when they play.
Have you ever considered joining up with them?
Well, I play bass guitar, and my sister plays bass guitar. So
well, it could be the singing guitars. You could do a sort of like a face-off or something with your sister. That'd be interesting. Dueling guitars.
That's right. No, but so I was in another 3 bands after that. Basically with the same guitarist, because he was a really brilliant guitarist. And after that, I didn't play in a band for a while. And this was in about 1994. Well, actually, I stopped driving buses probably in about 92, because I was really sick of it. And I went away to Australia, to believe it or not. I went to visit my sister and Danny in Perth. And when I came back, I had no intentions of getting a job. I just wanted to take it easy for a while. And I thought, I wonder what I could do. And I couldn't get into a band. So and Paul McKenna, you know Paul McKenna? Yeah. He had just come on the scene. And he's, I forget what his show was called, The Hypnotic World of Paul McKenna.
Yeah.
Now, when I was 14, me and my friend went to see a guy, a hypnotist at the town hall where I come from, and I was amazed at what he could do. And all this came back to me, and I thought, yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to be a hypnotist.
Yeah.
And that was my goal. And I kept thinking this, and then in a daily paper, I saw an advertisement. Do you want to be a hypnotherapist? And this was from the London College of Clinical Hypnosis. So I phoned them up. Didn't really want to be a therapist. I wanted to be a stage hypnotist. But I talked to the guy on the phone, or the girl on the phone, and they says, judging by your accent, we've got a clinic up in Glasgow. you could apply there. So I thought, yeah. So I applied there, and I went up and I had this big 100 questions to answer and an interview, and I was accepted. But I really enjoyed the therapy side. I was amazed. It got really, really good. And I remember one day we were sitting we had to pair off. And I was sitting in this room with this other student, and we had to hypnotize each other. And so I was hypnotizing, and the lady teacher was coming into the different rooms to see we were getting on. And she says, I've got to get out of here. You're sending me away with your voice. And I thought, wow, that's good. So after that, I had read that never refuse to go anywhere or do anything because it might take you nearer to your goal. So being a hypnotist was my goal at that time. Now, one of my cousins had died, lives about 40 miles away from here, and I had to go to the funeral. This was in place of my dad. He died when I was 13. So I thought, yeah, I'll have to go. So we went to the service, which was about 4 miles. It was in the country, 4 miles away from the church where the burial was. And after the service, one of my other cousin's son, who I never saw for ages, said to me, "Could I go with you in your car to the church?" I said, "Yeah," because I had just got the car, and I'd got that through visualizing it. But that's a story I'll tell later. Anyways. So we're talking in the car as we're going along about life after death and things you talk about when you're at a funeral.
Yeah.
And I was telling him about my goal to be a hypnotherapist. And he says, "Oh, my best friend's a hypnotherapist. And he's got a medical background." He said, "I'll introduce you to him." I said, "Wow, that's like an aha moment." So he introduced me, and me and Tony was his name. We got on like house on fire. And because Tony was an established hypnotherapist, he got offers and training offers that I wouldn't have got. And he got this training offer for the stage hypnotist in Manchester. It was for therapy techniques, but stage as well. And Tony said to me, "I know you want to be a stage hypnotist. I don't, but we'll go down." And I said, "Yeah, great." So we went down to Manchester, this fancy hotel, and we sat and we listened to him. And the guy was really good. And afterwards, Tony's got the gift of the gab, and he started talking to the trainer. And the trainer actually said to me, "Come down to my house one day, and I'll give you a 101 to be a stage hypnotist." And that's what happened. And that's how I became a stage hypnotist.
And so you live your dream.
So that it all came together.
Fantastic.
Through visualizing that. Yeah. Also, the car that I was on about. Now, at the time, this would be back in 93, 94, before I started training to be a hypnotist. The car I had, loved it. It was an Opel Manta, but it was a really nice car. But this new car had came out. It was a Toyota MR2. It looked like a little Ferrari, and I would have loved it. And when I used to take my dog for a walk, when I came up to our street, I used to visualize. Now, at that time, I knew nothing about, the law of attraction. I knew nothing about visualizing or anything like that. But I used to see that car sitting outside my house. It was red, like what I wanted. I saw the interior, everything, every detail. And this happened every time I took the dog out. And a few months later, I had to take our other dog down to get groomed, a dog we just got. And I thought, the lady said, well, I can only take you on Wednesday. Now, this was about 12 miles away from where I stay. I says, okay, I'll come down. She says, right, I'll book you in for 12 o'clock on Wednesday. So I went down on Wednesday, and I thought, where can I go? She says, come back in 2 hours. I thought, what will I do for 2 hours? Because I didn't want to just go home. Now, there was a Toyota garage just around the corner from where the little village where she was in. And I thought, right, I'll go around to the Toyota garage and get a kill time, get a test drive in one of their cars. Now, they had two, a green and a blue MR2 sitting outside, but it just wasn't like the one that I'd visualized. It didn't have a spoiler or anything. Anyways, I went into the showroom and I said, can I have a test drive in your car? And the salesman said, yeah, I'll go and get the keys. And I was talking to the girl on the reception, and in front of us was a red MR2, exactly like I wanted. And we were blethering away, and I said to her, I would love a Toyota MR2, a red one. And she says, she was Canadian American. She says, gee, I've got a red MR2. She says, I may be selling it. She says, because we've put an offer in for a house, and if our offer's accepted, then one of the cars will have to go, and it's going to be the MR2. She says, have a look at it. It's sitting around the back after you've had your test drive. And so that's what I did. And you know what I'm going to say? When I went around, that car was exactly the car that I had visualized.
Oh, wow.
In every single detail. And I went back and I said, wow. She said, well, look, I don't want to get your hopes up, because if our offer's not accepted, the car won't be going. But I knew then that the car was mine. She says, look, I'll give you a phone in a week's time. Now, the strange thing was, had I went any other day, she wouldn't have been on that reception. Her desk was down the bottom of the showroom, and another girl was on the reception. But because she was off that day, the boss said to Connie, that was her name, would you take over the reception? So if I hadn't taken the dog down on the Wednesday, if it hadn't been that Wednesday, that girl wouldn't have been on the desk. But these things happened to get me that car.
Fantastic. Everything happens for a reason, and it's just cause and effect, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Yeah, it's amazing.
So what happened when you purchased it and parked it in the drive? How did you feel?
Yeah, I felt great. Yeah, yeah. I loved driving it. I loved the looks it got. It was
Oh, were they
brilliant.
looking at you because they were quite a famous band fellow?
Yeah,
Or were they looking at the car?
maybe both. Maybe both.
So tell me, after No Kidding,
Yeah,
you said you played in a couple of other bands.
that's right. Yeah.
What were their names?
First band, Midnight Shift.
Really? Oh, wow.
And actually, we had a saxophonist player that used to actually play in Johnny and the Roccos.
Yeah.
He stayed over the fence from me, so he played in the band. And that I don't know how long that lasted, but yeah, we went on for quite a while. And then a band called Bigsby, and we had quite a lot of success with Bigsby as well. We played a few Bay City Roller numbers as well, which was really good. Yeah.
Where did you tour?
It was just around Cumbria and Northeast. We never really went down into the England or London or anything like that. It was just when I used to roadie with Johnny and the Roccos, back when I was about 19 or 20 or whatever. We'd done a few tours in Norway, which was really good. I went there with them, and it was great fun. Yeah.
And you say that you want to get back into a band or form a band again?
Yeah, I'd love to. I love being on stage, and
well, you've got the presence, and from the photographs I see, you have very long legs.
I do, yes.
So you stand out there with that lovely hair of yours as well. It's wild, everybody. It's shoulder length and there's lots of it.
Yeah, a Ronnie Wood style.
Ronnie Wood style. So, yeah.
So, in fact, I mean, as I've said, I always get called, Ronnie Wood, or do you know who you look like, for the last 20 years. But last year, when the Rolling Stones were playing in Murrayfield in Edinburgh, I was doing a run to this village out of Kelso, and this lady got on the bus and she says, "Are you not meant to be playing Murrayfield tonight?" And I says, "What?" She says, "You're meant to be playing Murrayfield tonight. How are you going to get there?" I said, "Well, they're sending a helicopter."
That's funny. Well, you can always visualize having a helicopter and a band.
Yeah.
You have the ability to do so.
Yeah, that's true.
Dear. So which bands influenced you when you were growing up?
Well, as I say, I like glam rock. But yeah, and I still do like the Bay City Rollers. I love that sort of music that makes you want to dance.
Yeah.
That sort of happy sort of. Yeah, I actually just I just sent away to Amazon just not that long ago, just the other day, and yesterday I got the DVD of the Bay City Rollers when they reformed in 2015.
Yeah.
They did a concert in Glasgow in the Barrowlands, and it was filmed. It was made a DVD, so I've still to watch it. That was with 3 of the original members.
Oh, fantastic! So, what's stopping you from playing with them?
With who?
The Bay
with
City
the
Rollers
rollers.
and getting them all together.
Well, they've Les McCune's Bay City Rollers. They've got everyone. They don't need anyone else.
Well, we're going to have to visualize for you, Jim.
You think?
Yeah, we've got to do some visualizing.
Yeah, that would be something. That yeah.
Do you have
I
your
did.
Yeah.
Sorry, I did see Les McCune's Bay City Rollers, because he's got another band that he calls the Bay City Rollers that is only him and a load of guys that weren't in the originals. But he was the original singer, so he's allowed to call himself the Bay City Rollers. I don't know if the originals are together again, because Alan died, the bass player with the original Rollers. So I think they might have just finished it. But Les McCune's still on the go. He actually followed. Now, here's the thing. Last week, I was looking at my followers on Instagram. I don't know why I looked at it, because I don't usually, just to see my activity. And it says, Les McCune followed you on Instagram. And I went, wow.
Oh, cool. That's wonderful. Well, now you know you can open up that door now.
You think?
Just like you got that red hot number there in your driveway.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That's brilliant. So, do you have your guitar handy?
My guitar?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Well, I've got one in the other room.
Ah. Well, we're going to have to get you back.
You couldn't hear it. You couldn't hear it because the bass guitar needs an amplifier.
Yeah. We're going to have to get you back sometime with your amplifier and everything else.
All right.
How about that? We'll call you back for that. It's a date. That would be cool. Yeah. Let's get back to hypnotism.
Okay.
How does it help people, Jim?
Well, you're talking to the subconscious part, likes for stop smoking, weight loss. You're talking to the subconscious part of the mind. If you were to say to someone, just normally, you no longer smoke, they're operating, I don't know if that's the word, on their conscious mind. And the conscious mind can make decisions for you. It can tell you what's right, what's wrong. So it would say, no, I smoke, I like smoking. But when you're in trance, relaxed, you're bypassing the critical factor of the brain, and you're going straight into the subconscious, and you're telling the subconscious that you're no longer a smoker. But it's a smoking session, I think, is about an hour. So you're constantly reinforcing the suggestion that you're a non-smoker. And usually with my sessions that I used to do, only one session. That's all that was needed, one session to stop people smoking.
That's brilliant. Was that because of the way you did it, or because I know some hypnosis practitioners do 3 sessions? Yeah.
Well, what we were taught, what a lady said, I can remember, she said, this is a one session, stop smoking.
Wow.
You know, you can say to people, if you feel the urge, maybe later on, if you feel you're going back to smoking, come back and I'll give you another session. And that's what I sometimes did. I sometimes said, I won't charge the full amount, I'll charge half, or I'll not charge at all. but actually, as well as it's having more as one session, is letting the person know that one session's not enough and they're going to have to need more, which is defeating the purpose. It's just for a hypnotist, really, to get more money out of the client. So if the client's thinking, well, one session and that's it, he's more likely to stop. Well, that's what I would say. As if he knows he's got to go back for more, he thinks, well, it's never worked.
So what it is you're allowing them, or you facilitating them saying, well, I've got another 2 sessions so I can carry on smoking until the last one.
Exactly.
So that is power of suggestion as well.
Absolutely.
That's really interesting. So when that happens, and where you maintain that one session only is sufficient, is that because that person is self-healing through suggestion? I
would say, yeah. I've never heard it in that text before, but that would. I mean, I've saw people that maybe I've saw them and they'll stop just like that. As soon as I walk out the house, they'll have stopped. And they don't go back for weeks and weeks and weeks, and then something will happen. I've had to go back maybe a few months later or the next year, and they'll say, such and such happened in my life, and I went back to smoking.
So it's a trigger.
Could you stop me again?
Would you say that that's associated with anxiety or stress? So you can perhaps hypnotize for that as well? You can hypnotize for anything, really. And it's just relaxation and putting suggestions into people's subconscious. Let's see. Weight loss. Weight loss is a big success. With I've saw a lot of people with weight loss problems, and I've had a lot of success with that as well. I don't know if you want me to go into detail with that. Well, what I'd love to know is more so, because you are a stage person, theatrical. You have to be in a band.
That's right.
How was it being a stage hypnotherapist? That must have been so much fun.
Not a stage hypnotherapist, a stage hypnotist.
Stage hypnotist, of course.
Yes, the therapy.
You're not going to do that on. Well, you could do.
No, I could, but no, it was just getting people to do silly things.
So, what silly things did you get people to do?
You start off with the simple things like being stuck to a chair and on a push bike and things like that. But the more people get go into hypnosis, like you'll get them to do one routine and then you'll go sleep, and they go and they sleep. But every time you go sleep, they go deeper. And the deeper they go, the better they feel. And the better they feel, the deeper they go.
Is it deeper than meditation?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's not. If you ask them to do something that was against their nature, they wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's also the fact that they're up on stage and that's their 15 minutes of fame, and that's it as well. I had them I play in bands, you know. One of the bands, you know, the Village People.
Of course, I know the Village People.
I still have all the hats, the Indian headdress, everything, and we'd have about them all, you know, on their chairs, and they'd be out, and me and my assistant, we'd put all the hats on them, and said, when you hear the music, you will believe. That's what you have to say. You will believe you are the Village People. You're up here on stage, you're doing this big show, blah, 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 blah. We'd give them all microphones, and then Wide Awake, and then the music would start straight away. And it was always YMCA. And, you know, yeah, they'd be doing everything. I
love it. You know, the YMCA thing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that must have been so funny. And did you film them? Did they get to see replays of themselves being?
No, we didn't. I've got pictures. There's pictures on my Instagram site.
Yeah.
But no, I wish we had. Because it was really funny.
Oh dear, that's fantastic.
And as we went on, you know, you get into the routines that are more, was obviously risky. But it's all done in the best possible way.
I just love it. So let's move on here. Tell me more about your Facebook group, Rock and Roll to Your Goals. Tell me about that.
Well, it was just the lady that's mentoring me with Bob Proctor Gallagher's Thinking It Results. She said you need a group. So I just created the group, and she said, well, what are you interested in? What's your niche? Because you don't want to target just anyone. You've got to have a niche. And she says, well, you're a sort of rock and roll type.
Oh, well, kind of, yeah.
I don't know where she gets that idea.
I have no idea.
She said, what about rock and roll? And I said, to your goals. And she says, yeah, that's it, exactly. So it became that. And I started to invite people, and they accepted. But then she says, you're not meant to invite them. They're meant to just join. But I thought, they're not going to join unless I invite them. So there's a few things that, you know, that I don't understand about.
Well, I think you can invite them because I think they're very much like to be invited by you. You're not just a nobody. You're somebody special. So why wouldn't they?
Yeah. Well, that's what I have been doing anyways. And she says, get your friends, get a lot more friends on Facebook. Look at sites that are to do with what you're interested in, you know, law of attraction sites, Bob Proctor and things like that. So that's what I did, and you know, I got a lot more friends from that.
Yeah, you got lots of friends, and I reckon if you went and did the band thing again, you'd get a lot of friends, lots of You got lots.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
absolutely.
I don't think you need to worry about that.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Who are the people that you've stayed in contact with from the music world? Do you go and jam with any of them or do anything at the moment?
I don't actually. We did start a band a few months ago, and I thought, yeah, this is going to be the start. But it just the guitarist. He was a really good guitarist. He didn't want to play with the singer.
Oh.
So that band finished. So yeah, we're still friends, like.
Yeah.
But eventually something will happen, and I'll get in. But all the friends, all the guys that I were in bands with, I would not. It's not very nice to say, but they've all grown older.
Wiser? Would we say they've all grown wiser?
Yeah, we could say that.
Yeah. How can we say that?
Right. I never seem to age.
No, there's no such thing. Time is an illusion, isn't it?
It is, exactly. That's another thing that I believe. I have never, ever, for as long as I can remember, tell anyone my age. I always convince myself that I'm a different age is what I really am. Even people that were at school with me, say, well, a guy said to me just a few months ago, he said, how have you never aged? How do you still look the same? And it's true. I've never aged, and that's not boasting or anything.
You just know the secret.
Haven't.
Well, you know the secret.
The secret of eternal youth.
There you go. You could be putting out lots and lots of reasons to coach people in how not to age.
Well, that's what I did. I put that on one of my rock and roll to your goal posts.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I got a lot of things obviously for women have said, I totally agree with you and amazing and blah blah blah, And I thought, well, yeah, that's a great thing. But I don't know how to take it any further, how to make it into a course or anything.
Well, you living it, it's your mindset. So you know how to do it. You just got to do a bit of self-hypnosis and be able to pull it all out of yourself.
Yeah, that's right.
Jim, how do our listeners contact you? And, do you have anything like a free strategy session or something like that so that they can get in touch with you and get to know you better?
Yeah. Well, as I say, you can, my email is jamie.surf@sky.com, or you can get my Facebook page, Jim Inglis, my group, Rock and Roll to Your Goals. And I have, the recording I gave you, you were on about they no longer do tapes. But actually tapes are coming back in
Are
a
they
big
really?
way.
I'm stuck down under here. I don't know these things.
Yeah, if you go on Amazon, all the music systems you can buy, they've all got tape players.
Oh, brilliant!
And if you Google, our tapes coming back, and they say, yeah, it's just
that's
like
fantastic.
Vinyls.
So you have a tape or CD. That's a meditation one, and I've listened to it, everyone. wow, this guy's got a very convincing voice. In fact, I had to go through half of it and then think, and I listened to it early morning. I thought, no, I got to get on with my day. I'm starting to be hypnotized by this man.
Well, that's good. That's good to know.
So they can find your CD as well. You've got that on.
Well, tape.
Yeah, your tape.
Yeah. If I can. Anyone who gets in touch who wants, I can send them a download.
Brilliant, wonderful, James. So Jim, your email is, and I'm going to say it again, is Jamie JAMIE.surf SURF at sky.com, and you can find his books on Amazon Books UK. Magic Triangle.
A Magic Triangle.
A Magic Triangle.
Yeah.
And you can get it in an ebook form as well.
Yes. On Amazon Kindle. There's a few little parts that I've changed that are in the printed version.
Yes.
That's not on it hasn't been changed in the Amazon version.
Brilliant. So, it's nice to know what the first one was like as well. So, and they can get the print version, which has sketches in it, and
they can if I've got them here. They're not for sale just now in shops, but I've got them here, and anyone who wants to buy one, pay the postage. Yeah, I can send them.
Oh, that's great. And then if you want to join Jim's Facebook group, Rock and Roll to Your Goals, and he will speak to you about the law of attraction and how to dream up red sports cars and all sorts of things. And before you go, Jim, tell them about your house rabbits. You have rabbits that live in your house.
I do, yes. There's not much to say about them. Actually, I'm in the spare room just now, and one of the rabbits is it's his room.
Oh, he has a room.
He's got the whole room,
Okay.
and he just jumps out of his cage, and he's sitting on. I don't know if you can see.
Oh, he's delightful. Yes, I can see. Oh, he's quite a big rabbit.
Yeah, it's a big rabbit.
Big grey rabbit. Does he go for a walk? I saw somebody in London taking a massive rabbit for a walk on a leash.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah, I saw these big rabbits, but no, he runs out and along the landing. But at night, we bring him down if he wants to come down, and he sits in the living room where the other rabbit is. The other rabbit's got a huge run as well.
They seem very lucky. They have bedrooms.
They do, yeah. We've our dog is a big German Shepherd. And he gets on brilliant with them.
He gets on well with the rabbits. He doesn't eat rabbits.
No, not at all.
Well, I'm glad to hear it.
He sticks his head in the cage. In the morning sometimes. I think the rabbit got that sick of him sticking his head in. He just hit him on the nose with his paw.
Well, good on the rabbit.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jim, it's been wonderful chatting to you. I've really enjoyed this. You're such a gentle soul, and you're so fun. You and great sense of humor. Thank you so much. And yeah, it's a date. We're going to get you back with your guitar and all the other stuff.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye, Jim. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Bye. The
that's Awaken Your Mind Magic for another week. If anything you've heard today has really impacted you and you want to know more, or you would just like to connect with me, then visit my website, awakenyourmindmagic.com, and reach out for a free one-on-one discovery session with me.
Silver on the on the inside, silver on the outside, gold on the inside, silver on the outside.
Tune in next week, where I'll be discussing more tools to unlock your dreams and live a limitless life that you would truly love to live. I'm Kathleen, and this has been Awaken Your Mind Magic.